When researchers write the reviews of the literature for proposed studies, they locate articles and develop the brief abstract of the articles that comprise the review. An abstract is a brief review of the literature. Now, what is abstract? It's just a summary of the literature. It is a brief review of the literature that summarizes major elements to enable a reader to understand the basic features of the articles. Okay. When there is a research paper, there for every research paper there is an abstract. For every research thesis, there is a section with the name of abstract. What is an abstract? It is just a summary of the research which the researchers have conducted. It is a brief summary that enables the reader to understand the basic feature of the articles. It will not give the details of that research, but it will give just a basic feature, the main idea of that research, that what the researcher have done in this research and what are their findings. In developing an abstract, researcher need to consider what material to extract and summarize. It is the very first section of the research proposal, research paper, but we write it at the end of the research. In writing, it comes in the end, but in the form of a paper, in the form of an article, it comes first in order to provide a better understanding, um, um, in a very quick view, to give the very quick understanding of the paper, of the research that the researcher have conducted. This is important information when reviewing the perhaps dozen, if not hundreds, of the study. A good summary of a research study reported in a journal might include the following point. For a good summary or for a good abstract, what are the main points? Mention the problem being addressed. The problem should be addressed, and that the problem should be mentioned. State the central purpose or focus of the study. What is the basic purpose of the study? It should be mentioned. Briefly state the information about the subjects. Review key results that relate the proposed study. Also, in a summarized way, there should be the problem should be mentioned in that summary. What is the main focus of the research? Briefly explain the methodology and what are the key findings of that research. All these points made the abstract or summary of that literature. When examining a study to develop a summary, there are places to look for these parts. In a well-crafted journal articles, when we are studying a journal articles, a journal paper, the problem and the purpose statement. Normally we call it problem statement or objective. Purpose statement are the objectives of the study. The problem and the purpose statement are clearly stated in the introduction. And normally it is in the last paragraph, second last paragraph of introduction portion, where we find the problem statement of the research article and its objectives. Let me check if I have a research paper, then I will. Let me check for any research paper. I'll show you the purpose statement and problem.
Mom, I have a question.
Here you can ask the question.
Uh, if we want to study one research paper, and then if we
There is
just
interruption
make
in
the
your
whole the.
your voice is not clear. Kindly ask the question again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
if we study one research paper, we just
Yeah.
write the main idea of that research paper or go by the methodology.
I didn't hear you. Sorry, there is a lot of uh, distortion in your line.
मैम ये कह रहे हैं कि वो मेथोडोलॉजी भी हम पढ़ें।
बिल्कुल मैंने आपको वही कहा है when you have to identify the paper, when you have to identify
या
the
जस्ट
paper that
एक्स्ट्रा
what okay I got your question. When you have to identify the paper that what kind of papers you have to select for your study, then you will go for only for the abstract. You will study abstract and you will select papers for you. Once you have selected those papers, then you have to study the papers in details. You have to study the methodology, you have to study the introduction, you have to study the results and discussion section. Okay, you have thoroughly studied the paper. Now come to the what we are saying, that in a well-crafted journal article, the problem and purpose statements are clearly stated in the introduction section. Come to literature. Let me show you this research paper. I have this research paper, and here if we start with the introduction, and as they said that in any article there is a problem statement. I've said that in the last paragraph of the introduction section there is a problem statement and objectives of the study. Here it is the last paragraph of the introduction section. You can see the purpose of this systematic review. Here what it is the purpose of the this
मैम शो नहीं हो रहा स्क्रीन पे, काइंडली शो कर दें मैम पेपर।
Niche Shora. I have shared the screen. Okay. अब शोर है।
जी मैम हो रहे हैं।
अभी देख हैं आप लोग यहाँ पे, here it is an introduction section for this paper. Here from here the introduction section started, and in the when we come to the last paragraph of this introduction, here is the last paragraph. Here we see that the purpose of this systematic review aim to provide. Here it is the purpose statement of this study. Okay, this last paragraph gives us the problem statement, that what was the problem, and the purpose statement are the objectives of the study. So the purpose statement are the objectives of the study, and the problem statements are stated in the introduction section, and information about the subject is found midway through in a method, which we call the methodology section. And in the methodology section, all the information about the subject is found in that section, and the results are often reported towards the end. And at the end of the paper, we state our results, and then after results, we write our discussion and conclusions. In the results section, look for passages in which the researcher report information to answer or address each research question or hypothesis. In research section, look for passages. What are these passages? These passages are for the discussion, are in discussion sections. When we do the discussions on the results, we answer the questions or address the researcher's question. There is a this section is called discussion section. First we have a problem statement, objectives, and then we come toward the methodology section, and the third section is a result section. And after the result section, when we perform the when we do discussion on the results, this is called the discussion section. And after the discussions, we conclude our results, and on the basis of that results, on basis of that discussion, we draw the conclusions, and we write those conclusions in a conclusion section. Now come towards the style manuals. It is the next steps in the rewriting in the literature review. That what is research style manual? Style manual, they provide a guideline creating a scholarly style for manuscript. That what will be the style of that research paper, that proposal. Sorry, we are talking about the proposal. So style manual, it provide the guidelines for the style of that proposal, such as consistent format for citing references, creating heading, presenting tables and figures. You will search for if you search different for the research paper in a different journals, you will find the difference in the styles of each research paper. The main components will be the same, but the style of each research paper will be, each journal will be different. Their heading styles will be different. Their presentation of tables and figures will be different. Their citation style, their referencing style will be different. Every journal is following their own referencing and citation style. They are following on their headings, and they are presenting the tables and figures in different format. So there are different style manuals. These style manuals are actually providing us a guideline that what's a format of heading or what style of heading we have to follow for this style manual, and what type of citation or referencing style will be used, and what type of figures and tables, which style of figures and table will be used. A basic tenet in reviewing the literature is to use an appropriate and consistent reference style. The main thing in this literature review is to use an appropriate and consistent reference style. If we have selected one reference style, one style manual we have selected, then we have to be consistent throughout our study. Then we have to use the same style throughout our study. We cannot switch from one style to another style in the same proposal or in a single study. We have to be consistent throughout. When identifying a useful document, make a complete reference to the source using an appropriate style. The publication manual of American Psychological Association, which we normally call APA, it is the most popular style manual used. Some journals have developed their own variation of the popular style. As I have already told about that, every journal have their own style manuals, according to which they provide the citation or referencing in the research, and according to that the headings and the tables and figures are presented. The most important style considered involve in text, end of text, heading, figures and table use. The main things in the style manuals are in text, what are the things at end of the text, how the headings would be, how the figures and tables would be presented. Some suggestions for using style manual for scholarly writing are these: when writing in text references. When we are quoting something from a research paper, from any book, from any research article in our research proposal or in our research article, we have to provide the reference for that information. हमने किसी भी रिसर्च पेपर से एक इंफॉर्मेशन उठाई, उसको हम अपने पेपर में लिख रहे हैं. कोई डेफिनेशन हमने किसी चीज़ की उठाई, उसको हम अपने पेपर में लिख रहे हैं. हम कभी भी उस चीज़ को विदाउट रेफरेंस के नहीं लिख सकते. So we definitely have to provide the reference for that information, for that text. Keep in mind the appropriate form for types of reference and pay close attention to the format of multiple citations. When we are writing in-text references, in-text referencing means when we are writing that information, and along with that information, we are giving the reference of that information. So in text references, these are mainly called citations. So we have to pay the attention to the format or the style of that citation or references. When writing the end of text references, note whether style manual calls for them to be alphabetical or numbered. हम देखते हैं जब भी हमारे पास किसी पेपर में किसी रिसर्च आर्टिकल में एट द एंड जब हमारे पास वो आते हैं जो रेफरेंसेस होते हैं, ठीक है, जो आखिर में पेपर के आखिर में हम लिखते हैं इन एंड ऑफ द टेक्स्ट मीन जो रेफरेंसेस की लिस्ट हमारे पास आखिर में आती है, उसमें हमारे पास वो उस हमारे स्टाइल मैनुअल पे डिपेंड करता है जो हम अडॉप्ट कर रहे हैं। कोई ऐसे होते हैं आप देखेंगे बहुत से हैं कि जो रेफरेंसेस हमारे आते हैं जो रिसर्च पेपर हमने साइड जिनका रेफरेंस होते हैं वो अल्फाबेटिकल ऑर्डर में हम देखते हैं, ठीक है, जो उनके फर्स्ट अल्फाबेट होते हैं उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम उसको ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं या फिर उनको हम नंबरिंग देते हैं 1 2 3 4 जिस तरह हमने ऊपर साइटेशन में जो यूज़ किया उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम उनको नीचे नंबर देंगे। तो ये हम पे ये स्टाइल मैनुअल्स जो हमारे पास अवेलेबल होता है, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन दैट स्टाइल मैनुअल। The last term is the definition of terms. What is the definition of terms? It is a topic related to reviewing the literature in the identification and definition of terms that readers will need in order to understand a proposed research project. If we are searching for a topic and we have searched for it, we have selected a research paper for our topic. There are various terms that we don't understand that the researcher, what does the researcher mean by these terms? We don't understand that. So researcher will define in a section which is called definition of term. In that section, the researcher will define those terms for the clear understanding of the readers. A definition of terms section may be found separate from the literature review. It can be included as a part of the literature review or placed in different section of a proposal. Proposal. Terms that individual outside the field of study may not understand and that go beyond common language. For example, in
मैम
yeah, enough.
ये डी मैम
जी बोले।
ये डिफिनीशन ऑफ टर्म जो है ये प्रपोज रिसर्च में या जो फाइनल रिसर्च हम कर रहे हैं उसी में आएगा ये
ये अभी
सारे
हम
डिफिनीशन ऑफ टर्म्स।
प्रपोजल की हम बात कर रहे हैं, ये सारे जो लिटरेचर रिव्यू का हमने पढ़ा है ना, ये प्रपोजल के लिए हम पढ़ा है, उसी लिए हम वो कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, ये प्रपोजल की बात।
और मैम एक और
जी जी
एग्जांपल हम पेपर पढ़ रहे हैं और उसमें उसमें से हम समरी बना रहे हैं, अगर उसमें हमें जो उसने जो लिटरेचर यूज किया है फॉर एग्जांपल ल्यूसी रिसर्चर ने वो हम डायरेक्ट यूज कर सकते हैं मैम।
और क्या चीज डायरेक्ट यूज कर सकते हैं, जो
फॉर
टर्म्स
एग्जांपल मैम नहीं मैम उसने जो अपना जो मैम लिटरेचर रिव्यू यूज किया है या
जी जी
लिखी है लिटरेचर रिव्यू
जी,
उसी को हम अपने रिसर्च में डायरेक्ट यूज कर सकते हैं।
उसको हम इसलिए यूज कर सकते हैं उस केस में जब उसकी जो इंफॉर्मेशन है वो हमारे लिए बेनिफिशियल है, वो हमारे टॉपिक से रिलेटेड है, तो हम उसको लिटरेचर को यूज कर सकते हैं। लेकिन कभी भी हम लिटरेचर को एज इट इज कॉपी नहीं करते, ये प्लेजरिज्म में आता है। हमने उस लिटरेचर को पढ़ना है, उसको हमने अपने वर्ड्स में उसको समराइज, जो इन्फॉर्मेशन हमें चाहिए उसको हमने समराइज करके अपने वर्ड्स में लिखना है और उसको वो करना है। कभी भी किसी भी एक रिसर्च का हम डायरेक्ट रिसर्च लिटरेचर रिव्यू उठा के अपनी रिसर्च में नहीं डाल सकते, ठीक है, ये सारा पे
मतलब रीराइट
बिल्कुल वी हैव टू रीराइट दैट लिटरेचर, ठीक है, वरना ये
ठीक है
हमारे पास प्लेजरिज्म में आता है। सो हमारे पास जो डेफिनेशन ऑफ टर्म्स है, इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट बिकॉज इफ द पर्सन also if we are talk about civil society, they human will not understand. So we have to define the terms for the better understanding of everyone. So define a term when it first appear in the proposal, in the introduction. For example, a term may require a definition to help the reader understand the research problem and question or hypothesis in the study. First, the term appears in the proposal. At that time, define that term so that when the reader further proceed, he will understand those terms would first appear in the proposal. Write definition at a specific operation or applied level. What is applied level? That everyone can understand that language. Don't complicate the things. Don't use slangs or jargons in the research, but define the terms in a simple language, in a language that everyone can understand. Since the definition section in the dissertation provide an opportunity for the author to be specific about the term used in the study, do not define the terms in everyday language. Okay? Instead, use accepted language available in the research literature. In this way, the terms are grounded in the literature and not invented. For every research, every field, there is a term we say technical writing. So we have to go for the technical writing. We cannot write a research paper, or we cannot define the terms in our everyday language. We have to go for common grounds, which everyone can understand. So it is possible that the precise definition of a term is not available in the literature, and everyday language will be need to used. In this case, provide a definition and use the term consistently throughout the plan and study. अब हमारे पास कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी आ जाती हैं जहाँ पे जिस चीज़ को हमारे पास, जैसे अगर टेक्निकल राइटिंग की मैं बात करी तो उसी की बात करूँ, तो टेक्निकल राइटिंग हर डिसिप्लिन के लिहाज से, हर फील्ड के लिहाज से वेरी करती है. इसकी कोई एक फिक्स डेफिनेशन नहीं है. जो भी रिसर्चर होगा वो अपने वर्ड में. When there is no precise definition for any term is available, then we can define that term in our everyday language. But in that case, that definition, the terms used in that definition must be consistent, and it should be used throughout the study. Define term introduced in all section of the research plan. The title of the study. We have to define the title of the study. We have to define the problem statement. We have to define the purpose statement. What is purpose statement? Objective of the study. This we have to define the research question, hypothesis, or objectives, the literature review, and the theory base of study. Anything under these headings which is very technical, or which comes for the first time in the study, we have to define those terms for a better understanding of the reader. If our main purpose of the writing a research proposal is that the reader can understand that what we want to communicate. If the reader cannot understand what we have written, then the proposal will not fulfill its purpose.
अदनान प्लीज म्यूट कर लें.
So that is it. Here we stop our today's class. Any question?
Excuse me, ma'am.